Moment of silence for George Floyd and his family. Our hearts are with the victim's family, our community, and our country. And at this time, I think it's a good idea to have a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you for President who passed away. Any deletions, additions, or corrections to the agenda?
I'm going to add establish a reserve sewer.
We'll put that under 14A. So that's a wet sewer reserve. Anything else? Just before we leave the moment of silence, I read something today that I thought was pretty good. It was from President Jimmy Carter. It says, "We need government as good as its people, and we are better than this." And I thought that was a very good statement about the village government, because I feel like the village government is always thinking about its people, and it is formed for the people, by the people, and it's the closest to the people. So I think Jimmy Carter's words are very important here and very true when it comes to living in a village. So
I also read an article by just a resident, not a resident of that, I don't think, that types of government that we have today are very not in the best interest unless it's a local government where you see the people.
okay, meeting minutes of April 26, 2020.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Need a second? Need a second?
Second.
Second by Pam. I have a few changes. Anybody else have any changes before I get started? Lori on page, other DPW hires. I just want the effective date put in there.
Okay.
And then fire department vacation schedule. We talked about this is outside of the contract and due to the COVID-19 situation. So it's not, it's only because of the COVID-19 issue that we're having with, not being able to do vacation. So it's outside the contract and it's just this one time only due to the pandemic. Maybe we just write one time only pandemic.
So, okay, but you don't want to do, because I have due to the COVID-19.
Right, but it's
And
outside. I think
beyond
it's,
that is allowed per the union contract.
okay.
I mean, I can add, what do you want?
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to just say
Here, at one time only.
one time
Okay.
something that is not, so it's not president. Yeah. And then under, sorry guys, under roundtable, Attorney Spencer confirmed Mayor Olson that everything is in order with the Main Street grant. He can move forward to the contract to purchase the office body copy. We have been told we have to wait for them to sign it before we can move. So I just want to make sure that we wait. We heard from Office of Community Development from the county that they just asked us to hold until they sign it. Any other changes? Any comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next is abstract 1, and that is dated today in the amount of $159,544,000.20. 71,000 of that is our annual contribution for PERMA, for our workman's insurance. So we need a motion to go ahead and accept abstract number 1. Moved by Dennis. Need a second?
Second, I want to, partnering with Judas, Lori, what was that big amount that they had there? They had
MS4 stormwater.
Pardon
It's
me?
their MS4 stormwater annual report and
Yeah.
also the management. There was something extra that they had to do this year with management
Yes.
inspections.
It wasn't just a report. It was they had to inspect.
Right, so they
Okay,
had,
there was a 2,500, I think, and 35.
exactly, yes.
So the amount went up.
30, yeah.
The requirements had changed from the unfunded
So it
mandate.
was for what, though? That's
MS4, all our storm basins,
Okay.
and they used to just do a report. Now they
Okay.
have to physically go out and look.
Okay, I didn't
They
understand.
can't take our word for it.
Okay. So they're gonna write that out now.
Yeah, so Pat,
We
is that
have a contract with them that the board agreed to.
Yeah, I know.
They approved that, so that's just a bill for,
the work that they did?
they were, yeah. And they will write it out.
Okay, I didn't think it was that much.
It wasn't, the additional inspection and management program is new this year.
It was out of the DPW account, right?
It was out of the, storm sewer account.
All in favor? Opposed? Next is abstract 22, and this is the final abstract for 2019-2020. That amount is $98,678.91. Any motion? Moved by Mike, seconded by Pam. Any discussion? Chief, I see on there that this is payment number 1 on the lease for the striker. Thought we paid 1 up ahead of that. We didn't, no. So is it 1 of 3?
I believe it's 1 of 3.
Any other questions on the abstract? Dan, you went through those all?
I went through the ones that were there, I guess quite a few came on in after today, I'm not sure.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next is the tax warrant for the 2020-21 village taxes. We need authorization to have the mayor sign the annual tax warrant, correct, Lori?
Yep, and it's $2,349,550.82.
Moved and seconded, and that's based on the tax rate that we set during our budget process. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next is chicken permit, 118 Brookside Lane. We got one letter today from a resident who is fully endorses this.
I saw that,
Yes, so
I don't have that on my.
it's right here with the email. Thank you for Karen for putting it in the file. All property owners were notified. It's 118 Brookside Lane. We do have the resident on camera with us. We get so the picture is very similar to the one we saw at the last meeting with and then where it's going to lay in the house on their survey. They have a pretty deep yard. Codes has reviewed it. Here it is. Shows you.
Everything looked good to me.
Thank you, Michael.
What's the number?
118.
118.
Karen, can you let Jason on?
Website?
Mhm.
I didn't
Mr.
have,
Ridley, you should be on to talk if you would like to say anything in regards to it.
Jason, do you have a statement or any comments or questions of the board?
Looks like his feed is muted.
Am
There
I
we
on?
go.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Fridley.
Hi, folks. Thanks for considering it. I don't have any questions or concerns, but I'm happy to answer any of yours.
And you're familiar with the village code that states if we have issues that the board of trustees is allowed to revoke the permit immediately upon complaints, and if we can't get them resolved. Do you understand that?
I do.
All right. Any questions? We need a motion to go ahead and accept permit for 118. Okay. Moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome to stay on and listen to the rest of the meeting if you want. So next is our continuation of the seeker process with Waterside Commons. We did get feedback today at 4:30 from our engineer on the village. Do you have a copy of that, Ted?
I do not.
Oh, yeah. Everybody get one?
I think
You got one? Lori, you good?
I have one. And just so you know, it actually came in at 5:44,
Oh, sorry.
only because we had somebody requesting this and I didn't have the time.
So if we remember the process, I'm just gonna recap, Ted. The PUD process is there's a pre-application conference, that's step 1. Step 2 is the application. Step 3, the PUD plan is accepted. Step 4 is the planning board recommendation after SOCPA and the fire department. Step 5 is which we're in right now, which is the village board of trustees consideration of the application, seeker review with our engineer, and it's a twofold. We have an engineer that's looking at the floodplain, which has been done by Schumacher, and now we have an engineer looking at the plans of the building. So we're in that seeker review. We still have a public hearing, and if it goes any farther, then we have step 6, we have step 7. So we're in that process right now of the 5th step. We have the Schumacher and Matt Naparella, which we got again at 5:45 today. So Ted, we talked about starting in phase, or in section 1 of the seeker process.
Right, yeah, at the last meeting, the Board of Trustees adopted a resolution to be the lead agency for the coordinated review. And that was the end of May. The village has sent out the notice to the other involved agencies, and there's a 30-day waiting period. So you won't be able to do anything substantively until the end of June, because we're halfway through that.
So is it better to look at the comments that were made by our engineer that reviewed it before we start that process of going through? And
Yeah.
then that our 30 days would it still be, would the 30 days be up at our next meeting in June?
I think we just should.
We meet the 22nd.
We did that on the 26th.
So July would be when we could
Start the seeker.
get into the substantive part of the seeker review. At this point, we should all digest what Matt Naparella has identified as potential issues. And at a glance, it looks like we need some input from the applicant based on issues Matt raises here. Secondly, if any board members have any particular concerns with that site, we should highlight those so Matt can revisit that portion of his review to make sure he's adequately addressed any concerns of the trustees. So Karen Shepherdson has posted all the submittals to a Dropbox, and she maintains a action summary sheet that shows us how we got to where we'd like to.
So if we got any questions about anything, then we go to Matt rather than you or Mike Jones or.
Matt is being paid for out of the escrow that was formed to review plans that are submitted by the developer on behalf of the village. So if we have questions about what Matt has written for the project, yeah, Matt or Mike or.
Yeah, if it's an engineering related issue, go to Matt. I'm useless in that regard. If it's a procedural issue, feel free to.
Okay, so you're gonna make the secret.
The seeker review will be done by.
Yes, I'll walk you through the seeker review. Once we're happy.
Did they do a seeker or did they don't do a seeker?
All they submitted was part 1 of the seeker form, which provides data and information about the project. They did not do an environmental analysis like the board will do when it goes to part 2 of the seeker form.
And then we do the
Yeah, if we determine that there are potential consequences of some magnitude, we could ask the applicant to submit a draft environmental impact statement.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Ted. Yes,
So I want just a point of clarification. Me and Mike Jones reviewed the plans for the fire department. Had a whole bunch of problems and questions with it, mostly on the parking lot, in and out hydrant locations, elevation, which was Mike had. I just want to make sure that all got articulated from Mike to you guys.
Mike? We will definitely review that as part of that process. process.
Turning radiuses are horrible for us.
Thanks.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I did
Yes.
see one submission
Yes.
from you. You mentioned at the end of that, that you had previously done another big project in the village. Which one was that?
Town. We did the.
Oh, the town.
one in the town.
Cruise ship, was that the cruise ship?
Okay, thank you. I just didn't know. which
We
one
did
it
do
was.
turning radiuses for the apartment complex when we were looking at that. He
Okay,
had looked at that, he had, and I think you did turning radiuses for the memory care facility, possibly might be going there too.
And they have our turning radiuses, the problem's the angle, so the driveway, it doesn't come straight out, it angles out. So if we have to turn in that driveway and there's cars there, you're never gonna make that turn, even though it's 24 feet wide. It's the angle of the driveway,
So it's very similar to what happens in the front of Craftsman Inn, even though it's very small,
Yeah.
it's that turn that you just can't
it's
make.
just the angle of the way, it's weird that it jockeys back to the south instead of being straight to the west.
Coming in off High Bridge.
Yeah,
Are you also including the supposed in and out for the bank that is supposed to feed out onto
as long as that's wide enough, that's not gonna, we're not gonna go in one of those or out one of
I
those.
think that's a DOT issue.
I just need to make sure that we can get in the complex from two angles with hydrant locations. Because right now, it's not really conducive to us, so.
Mike, I just want to make sure those comments that you and the chief had made are part of your record or a record that is in, that we can look at when we review this.
Yeah, when the chief and I sat down to review it, that was the old site plan. And then there was modifications made along with the base flood elevation and the first floor, finished floor elevation.
Okay.
So those really need to be
It was
looked
what
at
was
again.
submitted to the planning board and they
They made changes.
yeah, because Schumacher had problems with the flood elevation and a few other things that we had concerns on parking. I think some of that was adjusted, but Matt has already picked up on some of the site, the sizes of the parking may not be adequate for the village code, so we have to review that. Plus, I want to review radius, turns, height, and angles of the building, the required turns. Okay. Any other questions on this? So I'll put this on the July agenda, for the first meeting in July. That gives us the 30 days and we can start the process. Number 9 is I put down Brookside Park, I'm sorry. I should have wrote Coulter Park. But we got a letter. We've had several emails and letters from residents. It's in our Parks Master Plan, so I've asked Derek to be here because Derek is the Parks Commission Chair, and he has some ideas. Derek didn't know that the village board had set up a master or a reserve fund for parks. He didn't know how much was in that reserve fund. So there is some money to do some improvements. We've had some conversations with some of the residents down there. I'd like to start the process of starting the plan so that we can get the plan done amongst the Parks Commission and the village board, and then present it to the residents in that area. Maybe have a informational meeting in the park one night, have all the residents come down there and look at it and see what they like, what they don't like, and then we can get started. So Derek, I appreciate you doing this. I called you on Thursday and you're here on Monday, so I appreciate that. I just pulled this out because I wanted to see if it lined up with what you're talking about with our master plan.
Yeah, so what we, as part of what we did over the winter was we pulled together a grant proposal to get funding to do the upgrade. So, and those are based on, the 2 other parks that haven't got funding. So at Coulter and Washington, which are like the main neighborhood parks, that need some upgrades. So, based on that, we pulled together a budget of $35,000 to do upgrades. So I think that includes new swings, new play set area, additional benching, and resurfacing. So that was just a concept level budget that was pulled together just broadly. And I think at this point, understanding there's funding available, we'd like to start a more detailed planning process and go with some of the homeowners, the area and neighborhood group, and the Parks Commission to pull together a detailed plan to get a project planned out for the neighborhood. So I want to use kind of what we came together with, the budget I was planning around $35,000 of what we had kind of allocated between, for Coulter originally. I think that's a target to shoot for, and I want to see what the neighborhood folks have to say and see if we need more, or where it goes from there. But I think with that, Coulter did get, smaller play set for the 3 to 5 age range. But definitely needs a lot of love. The slide, the swings, some seating, and Trustee Ashby and I looked at it 2 weeks ago, and she had a lot of good things to point out. These general cleanup. I think the last big push on it was, you think it was 30 years ago or so?
No, I wanna back up just a second. I wanna back you up just a second. Because I was on the board, I started in '96, and then when I started, and I want Dan's perspective here, it was kind of like, it was the Brookside Homeowners Association's park. It was a village park, but they were responsible for maintenance and equipment, and we kind of just mowed it and oversaw it. And tell me if I'm wrong, Dan.
No, you're
Over
right.
the years, it's kind of morphed into the village is responsible, which is fine. It's our park, and it's the whole village's park. But I want people that are listening and you to understand, originally it was built for the Brookside neighborhood. There's 350 homes or something like that in that neighborhood. And it was built more for them to use. They could walk down and they could use it, and they funded it, and they did most of the improvements, or they maintained it. And as things have changed, we've taken over and we're doing more and more and more and more. That's fine. But as we do that, it's no longer just their park. It's going to be available to every other village resident that wants to use it.
That's
So
important.
I caution, I'm 100% behind doing this, and I'm 100%, but I have to caution, and I know Ken, you're wearing 2 hats here. That means people will go there and use it.
Well,
And people will park on the
I've
street.
said for years that I thought that we should make it be, because of people coming from outside our neighborhood, that it should be better loved for that reason alone, because you have the high school kids and other running clubs and biking clubs that come and stop off there before going into Green Lakes. I'd like to attract more people to it, because it is a park that if more people are using it, it can be accepting more of the funds or more of the turnover.
It's the only caution is
Well,
we have the issues
Funds,
of
I
funds
use
is
that
fine,
term
no.
loosely, but
No, funds is fine. I think Mike is what's saying what I'm thinking.
the caution here is we have sat meeting after meeting with neighbors at the Green Lake State entrance in Brookside that do nothing but complain about the traffic and or the parking and or the disrespected by their properties. So we gotta make sure whatever we're doing, those property owners are well aware of what the potential is, because we're not building a parking lot for that park, obviously.
absolutely.
We're not
I-
expecting to, I'm just saying, we're not building a parking lot, and if that's going to attract more people to drive there with children to play in that particular park, then we don't wanna create something that is not going to be liked by some of the people, you mean, you can't please all the people all the time, or some of the people some of the time, but
Let me,
just but that whole concept of things, so I think we gotta kind of move slowly. All this playground equipment is very, very expensive, that meets any of the standards that has to be out there today. Can't has on this list here about the special mulch we have to buy and things like that, so I'm certainly not opposed to any of it, it's just, I think we need to have the plan and then walk slowly into the plan to see how much it's actually utilized and see how we go, so maybe if we can kind of stage it into, some of the things as opposed to doing a complete makeover all at once. We've done that in some of our other parks and things, is taking it step by step or whatever, just to see what the reaction is.
It was also about within the last 5 years, we put a $10,000, that little.
3 to 5 play area.
Yes.
Yeah, we had some extra
Yeah.
funds, and
Yeah.
Pat had came up with the idea to do that there, so we installed those.
Yeah, so the initial round one, so we put the Parks Commission put together just a general revamp of
Right.
whatever. That's what we did. So we're gonna use that as the basis to start the dialogue with the neighborhood group to be like, what do you guys want? Kind of solicit input and kind of try to morph into something. But
But what I'm
See,
hearing
right
now
away,
is it's gotta be the whole village.
It's gotta be the whole village.
we
That's
can
what I was
start with
trying to
the
explain.
whole village. Actually,
No,
I know, but I think I was trying to explain to you, this is going to be a park, and I appreciate Pam's comments. But it's not just for the Brookside neighborhood, so you're gonna go through the Parks Commission, you're gonna come with your recommendations, you're gonna then come to us with that plan. We're gonna review it, put our comments on it, and then we're gonna take it and have a resident meeting there, and let anybody come that wants to come, and then make a plan. We're not gonna plan on what just the Brookside residents want. That's not how our parks work.
That's
None
what
of
I
our
was
parks
gonna-
work that way.
That's what I
Thank
was
you for
gonna
that.
say, except Mark got in, I mean, it is a village park, if it's village park, then it's gotta be. So you just can't say, what do you want, because I live on Aladdin or Genie or one of those.
Yeah, excellent point, thank you.
Okay, all right. And I agree with what Mike said, that you have to be careful about what we do, because if we do say to the village, okay, we have a place where you can go and have an outing, and they live over on Spring Street, my next door neighbors, they wanna have an outing, where are they gonna park? Is there gonna be a problem with the people? I mean, that's,
It's just something
I have
we
one
just need to
last thing to say about it, as being on the board in that part, and I probably shouldn't be part of any sort of plan. There's other heads of the board that can be on in that. But from my understanding, after talking to many people in the neighborhood, none of them are under any consideration that it is their park. They have invested time in it in the past, but those people are long gone, many of those people. This is a turnover neighborhood, and we now have a park that is falling apart, and it can't be that way if it's not owned by them. It's gotta be cared for. And so nobody is suggesting either that we make sure people come in by these roads to come into the park. That wasn't an intention either. It's just so that it is well kept enough and in code and safe.
I just wanted the perspective that it was really, when it was built more for that resident.
Because they devoted it.
Yeah, and you're right.
It's volunteerism at its
yeah,
greatest.
It's morphed into what it is
And
today.
volunteerism that's all the neighborhood association is. It's a social thing, and it is not a mandatory, it is very voluntary.
So,
I guess we're just assistance in helping solicit the information from the village. I don't know if I can get any help from Lori, or whatever, just to make sure we get a good outreach to people.
yeah, and trust me, we will, once you guys, the Parks Commission comes up with a plan, that's consistent with whatever's in here.
Yes,
You guys were part of this.
Yeah,
And then we review it, we're gonna go out, we're gonna solicit as much public input as we can, and then come up with a final plan. And again, just remember that I talked to you about it, we can make our dollar stretch farther with in-kind services for the DPW than we can from putting it out to bid and having a general contractor come in, because it just costs us so much more money, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that wasn't, we were kind of, we took a different angle as discussed on the proposals. I think what we had in the grant proposal, we can make go much further because we are using in-kind services.
So not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to, we have the money in the reserve, so we would like to get this done.
Yeah.
I've been thrilled to see if everybody's walking around, you see people walking, you see people down in the landing, you see people using parks, you see people running.
Right.
I mean, we're set up, this village is set up with all our sidewalks, with all our parks, with all our stuff that we have. This would just be another enhancement for that ability for people to be able to walk and do something and play outside. So I don't wanna, wait. And so if there's a way to get the Parks Commission together and have something back to us at the next meeting,
Yeah.
that would be great. Then we can start the process, because we could get, before the fall hits, we might be able, late summer, we might be able to start doing some of these projects. Because some of these things will take us a couple weeks.
Yeah, we already have some of the parts and pieces as far as like, we have a bunch of pamphlets of the equipment and things like that. So we got things we've already gone through the dialogue. I spoke with the group through email over the weekend. So yeah, that'd be a good goal to shoot. Next meeting or are we doing?
I haven't told the trustees yet, but we're gonna keep going for double meetings in July at least, because we have a lot going on. So we have a second,
meeting in June?
we have another meeting in June.
Okay.
And then we're gonna have 2 in July. So,
Okay.
Sorry,
Trying to get a job.
Seems good.
Park.
Never do that.
I know we got a lot.
Okay.
We never had a pandemic either. Yes.
In your master plan for the park, can you widen Cashin Drive so with all this extra traffic, the residents on Cashin Drive can have wider road? Just saying, it's narrow.
Yes, that's why I want this to be fully considered and fully vetted. State Parks, actually, Rob is great, he's a great resource. We gave him all the plans for Canal, and he came back with a couple ideas that have been, because they do it every day. They
Okay.
do it, so.
Right.
You know,
He gave us the ideas for the bathrooms and finishes and features, and then where we put where we had set the equipment, we got that equipment lead through him,
Okay.
Paratech or Architect.
Architecture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
as far as equipment and things like that, Pat Messick is a lot of things. And sometimes they have special deals in beginning of the season, end of the season. And or Michelle Middleton, who is the supervisor for the recreation.
Michelle, okay.
She might have information.
Any other questions for Culture Park? Any comments?
So we want something back by the next meeting.
If we can. They've done a lot because we were trying to put that 35 into the plan for the Main Street grant, but it didn't make it, so.
It was 95 with Washington.
Oh.
Washington, there was a lot less.
Right.
But
And if you want to give us Washington, you have time.
I think we'll focus on Coulter, see if work through the process, and then go to Washington. I think that,
Because I think that needs it, that's a beautiful park, and I think that should be.
Washington needs some help for sure.
Are you doing a grant? Is this?
No, we were thinking about doing a grant. When we did the Main Street, I was thinking about putting
I
it in
just
there.
want to make, because I just see your
No, we're
grant.
not doing a grant.
I know Washington. Would you consider both?
Well, Washington's coming next, we're gonna
Even in
do,
stages, even in stages.
Yeah, let's see how this goes, and then, yeah, we can jump right into Washington.
How much is it?
Washington really just.
You don't need to replace everything.
Some outsiders.
Washington doesn't need, they just need upgrading playground equipment.
When did the parks open up?
They aren't.
they
There,
are no good.
That's why.
no,
Passion
our parks are
recreation.
open, our parks are open, our play equipment is closed.
Okay.
Our play
Basketball?
equipment is
Why?
closed. Because the governor hasn't released the.
Basketball's closed?
To do those yet. I'm hoping that's in 3 or 4, I'm hoping that we get clear.
But our picnic tables are open.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you, Derek. You're more than welcome to stay, sir. But
You, can I update on any of the other projects? So we have the Boy Scout project? Or do you want-
oh yeah, you want to give us something?
Yes, so Trent's Boy Scout project, the Limestone Creek Trail, the brush has been cleared. We had Thompson Johnson Bobcat came in and mulched it, so all the stumps, everything's cut real low. And you can definitely get your gator down there. For the fire department, it's like 10 foot wide. So it's nice, just mowed path now. We have some road fabric. I talked with Pat about doing, we definitely need stone for
Road
the
grinding.
entrance.
I got that all set.
Yep, I just need, now I need to get the equipment back, so when we get the stone, I can,
Tell me when you want.
I'm working on that, so, well, I'm not working on that, Trent's
I
working
talked
on
to
that.
you.
Yeah, as I'm saying, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, I'm trying to, so,
It's a life lesson for them.
yes, yeah, me too, but anyway, this is my second one, so it's going pretty good, but, yeah, so we're working on that, there's a couple wet areas, talked with Pat about, just doing stone on the entrance, because that's the steepest area, everything else be mowed and grass.
Okay,
And we, as part of Trent's Boy Scout project, like have a sign up saying this is volunteer maintained, yada, yada. But yeah, next steps is fabric, and then there's like one area that was a little lower, thinking either doing fabric or put a culvert in, fabric and stone, or put a small culvert in. So,
let's make sure that we just check if Pat needs to, we need to check with the DC, we've got contacts, so we can just call them and ask.
okay,
They were very helpful when we did the Dugan Park, with coming up and looking at it and saying, from where we were putting the trails. and how we were doing. Yeah, they were great, they were great. They gave us a lot of good ideas and things to do and not to do, so.
okay, good.
So,
So that's continuing, I'm not pushing to, Trent's not, he's got plenty of time, he's pretty young for
So
Boy Scout.
where is that gonna end? I've been down there 2 or 3 times. It's done all the way.
So Trent's part is complete, it goes basically to, immediately across from the bird sanctuary, very much.
Okay, so then it's not done all the way. I was just.
So it's not gonna, Trent's proposal was only to do all the way in, and we're trying, at next stage, we'd like to carry it on to the next one, but he didn't feel comfortable committing to the whole part.
I just got another Eagle Scout.
So when I go down there,
Okay.
it's done right now as far as it's supposed to go with this.
Correct. So he's gonna put some log benches or
Didn't
something
seem
to,
very long.
yeah, well, he's not done yet as far as like the finishes, so they'll take probably more effort just to get the finishes, like this, so and stuff. So I think, but yeah, so that's that, Dugan Park and Golden Park, we put, unique ID stuff on trails. Dugan Park's blue, so everyone gets a blue ID, it's up to Dugan. Golden Park is gold. So if they're injured next to a gold color, they're there. And, I gotta go and geotag the numbers, but they're pretty much blue or gold will get you close. I mean, you could drive
Those
from,
maps. You have a map.
I need to map them. I need to put them, I got like on a squiggly mark thing, so we got that going.
We still need to finish that main road. It's all the way up to like 3/4 of the way down to that building. We just need to finish that little bit left.
Right, had to take care of
That's
that.
right.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then you'll be able to get, I'm up there on Sundays, and you can easily get in and out. You know, the farthest is gonna be that stretch when you go down and go back up. But you're better off going up Stringview if you're gonna go back there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we haven't been back there in a while, so maybe that's.
yeah, you should go up. It's
get a lot of use.
getting a lot of use, and it's very well defined, so you can see where they are. So that main road splits the main part of it in half, so that you can get off of that main road.
Have you done anything like up from Four Seasons? Remember how we,
Yep, that's Golden Park.
is that,
So that's,
It's almost done.
yeah, I mean, it's established. It's, it's done. So people are using it. It's not as popular as Dugan Park because it doesn't have a wide open entrance parking area, but it's getting used pretty, defensively. Especially it's not more so now. I mean, Canal Landing, Dugan Park, Golden Park, they're getting a lot of use just because it can't do other things.
The, just so you know, that front, there's, on the Eagle list is a dog park
Yes,
on that
yep,
front, so it's still on that list. I give it to him every time, so I'm still gonna give it to this one that I meet with this week, but.
yeah, that was gonna be,
I never can get anybody to, excuse the pun, fight on it.
right,
I'm trying to get that, done.
and that
Yeah,
was part in the time.
There would be
part of the field.
yeah, there'd be, in front, it'd be a big area and then split in like 2/3, 1/3, big dog, little dog. And then, have it up there, so.
Yep.
You have to separate them, so.
Yep,
You're supposed to separate them, so then a big dog doesn't chew into a small dog, so.
And then, yeah, the only other thing is just, as the stuff with the Bundy property, I think it's like,
Yes, again, we got the Main Street, we have the contracts, ready to go. We're just waiting for the county to sign the Main Street grant program, and then we can close.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if it's in this, did you guys put it in the?
yeah, it's as a passive, it was nice to have as a passive trail, because we have the Briar Brook Walking Trail, property, and it was, carried through as, I have to look at where exactly it is, but it was mentioned as a, the Village Parks Commission would like to acquire that property that, have some type of, it's linear park, to extend from Briar Brook Walking Trail.
Okay.
So it's, a passive park, just maybe benches and a path, so it was like that.
Okay, good.
And then we are working with Village of Manlius group. They just got an additional 20-acre park property by Candy Lane, so now they have like about 40-acre park. What's up to like Stickney Limestone Calvary Club. And we're just working with them because it's a butt up to Lead Yard on their side. And I've been helping them out, just my experience in guiding that. So, but they're essentially our park neighbors. So, let's see where that goes. But just helping out the planning trails and stuff like that now.
Okay. Good. Any questions for the park commissioner? Thank you for coming.
don't think that we're putting you on the hot seat, we just,
I
we're just getting in this and,
No,
a
I
lot of
appreciate
things
that.
that went on that a lot of people felt responsible, like the Washington Park over there, that was sort of just, I don't even know if neighbors put it up, I don't know, people just started going there and all of a sudden things appeared, and I don't know where they appeared from, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Washington Park
One
is
thing
their
you should
fault.
do in is ask to see the deeds.
Yeah, they
Yes.
Because sometimes there are limitations
Oh, yeah.
in the deeds about what you can do, what you can't.
Yeah, there's a lot of restrictions on the new property we got, but not so much the existing property they have.
Good, thank you. Thank you. Next is just a senior center update. We heard from the architect today. The MWE requirements have been completed with Onondaga County Community Development, and the contract has been fully executed. The contractor has been on site and has begun work. The submittals are processed and we're reviewing them. The loose paint has been removed from the barn and the primer coating has been applied. The enclosure fence has been installed on the west side of the building and extends to the north vestibule. The contractor is removing loose paint on the east side of the building. The contractor's schedule indicates completion by the third week of August. And in parentheses, a little aggressive, so we have to keep an eye on that. The north front vestibule has been partially demolished to construct the porch. And the kitchen addition and foundation is scheduled to begin this week, along with the start of interior renovations. So, we submitted the paint color, or Tom submitted paint colors. Lori and I and others have looked. We went with this one right here. Pick up on this gray, white, and a little bit of blackish blue. Okay, good. So the nice thing I thought is that picks up on the logo, the village colors, and I think they're all historically correct. So anybody have any issue with that? And we do have some beautiful renderings the architect did, if anybody wants to see. So, yeah, absolutely. So it's progressing. So if you get a chance, please take the time to stop up and see exactly what's going on. The one thing with the COVID is it's letting the contractor do a little bit more than they normally could do because the operation was supposed to be operational. Right. But we've started and we're plugging along and we're making progress. So
just in that remark, I was up there today to go and mulligan some chairs so they can set up some outdoor seating. I asked to try and regroup and reopen a little bit. And Janet kind of talked about talking to our board about, or the senior center board about, maybe not having the seniors come back just yet and let them get through most of this work before they come back. So that it wouldn't bother either side so much or whatever. And if they're closed because of COVID anyway, and when they can open, they're not sure, but that may work out. Everybody's managed. I bet.
well, they asked me.
I bet.
I don't want to stop the senior center from doing anything they want to do.
No.
It may be a good idea.
She was just saying in general, she's been doing those
They're
weekends.
free range,
It may be a good idea.
free range workers. They're all over.
Okay, next is the Salt Springs project.
You bet.
J.K. Tobin mobilized last week on June 3rd. The contract is 60 days from start to finish. And we have B&L's full-time person on site, Mason, who did the other part of this, the Safe Routes to School. So they have 60 days from when they start to finish. We have one issue with rebar is something that is hard to get. So that is something we're keeping an eye on. But B&L is monitoring that, and we're in pretty good shape on that. So if anybody asks you, we should be done with that sidewalk and bridge in 60 days from June 3rd. So July 3rd, or August 3rd, first week of August, we should be done. So if you drove up there today too, you'll see that their traffic impact is pretty minimal, but we have to be, chief, you have to be aware that they will be going in and out of that area.
Yeah, so, Pat sent me in text that said they're working up there now, to watch the traffic.
So, any questions on that? Fire department, trustee Kinsella, any purchases?
We want to get the IPS app and a tablet, so that we can do our safety inspections. What's IPS? That's the code software. So,
That marries up with what we're using.
no, it's your system.
It's our system.
Yeah,
right, but
we're just trying to be able to get it so that we can do it in the field and be done with it. And that's, Mike uses it at the town, and, Mike's got a tablet and an app, it's just it's not feasible to share it, so.
Mike Jones, any comment?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Thank you, sir.
It's definitely worth the cost.
Yes, they're $200, so. That's the expensive part.
And then we're getting the PC through the BOCES.
No, we'll get it through Verizon.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it on contract through Verizon. It's a tablet, it'll be an iPad.
Any questions? So we need a motion? Moved by Dan, seconded by Dennis. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any applications?
Yes.
engine one. This person's name is, her name is Katie Engineering. I thought it was engine one on there. Everything's signed. She wants a firefighter, medic, driver. She wants the whole thing.
So, need a motion?
Yeah, I did.
Second. Seconded by Dennis, and all signatures are in line. Any questions? All in favor?
I,
Opposed?
I should have the contract this week for the recruitment company. So they're sending me a contract for that, and I've talked to the association about picking up the balance of it. So
And then you have a recruitment class or a,
we have an
Six.
orientation class coming, that starts this Saturday, I'm gonna report this week.
okay.
Saturday.
If you guys, on my report, there was a link to that first arriving. That's the recruitment company that we're gonna, I'd say marketing company. That's the company we're gonna partner with to help us, get to our A game with recruitment, and so. They come very highly recommended. Six. 16 members. First one we've had in a while. People come back. We are starting to see some people come back. There's some people that might not come back, but where are you at right now? 90 members, okay, plus the staff, about 103 total, I think. Yeah. So that's about. Yeah, it needs a little bit. Yeah, we're down a little bit, but that's okay.
Pandemic, how are you doing with supplies? How are you doing with?
Supplies are okay. There's still stuff coming in. That's where you'll see some of the bills from Deval and
Was that the mask that I saw? I saw helmet masks.
P100 filters,
No, it was helmet.
helmet fronts.
Yes.
And if you look at the date, I ordered those in February or March.
Oh,
They just sent the bill.
okay.
So, no, I still have N95s on order. I still have gowns on order that we just aren't getting. So, we're holding our own PPE. We're up to like 76 or 77 transports of potential. So I handed you a pandemic recovery plan that we update weekly. It is just a document that we're looking at, that everything we've done and things that we're stopping, things that we're gonna continue, things that they got end dates on them. And then some of the stuff we're gonna transition into a regular activity in the organization, so. It's a fluid document.
I've heard from several people that some of the Zoom meetings have been good. That they,
Every week.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've been, that's the good that I was hoping some things, out of this bad, something good would come. Maybe that is something that we can use.
Something for Dan.
I understand something.
He tries to come over every Friday morning and have a meeting with me. So.
Every day.
This is good.
You're always having a
Does
meeting.
everybody have this or just me?
I just gave it to you. I'll send it to all the trustees.
Have we heard anything from the government about getting money for the extra stuff we've done?
So I know,
You submitted.
well, so our grant writer submitted everything. They got a new system for it, like everything they got. There's a portal for it. I think it's a good sign that they sent us an acknowledgement and a credentialing for it. I filled it all out and we have access. So now I just have to have the grant writer populate it. But I submitted 4 requests to him, somewhere around $22,000 to $25,000 total, and I have another one to get ready to send them. So
Is Pat doing the same thing with the DPW or?
I don't have anything, he is tracking it though.
We know. What his is gonna be, Pat's is more, Pat, if you're on, speak up. Pat's is more of cleaning, continuous cleaning of the vehicles, continuous cleaning of the, the barn. Any other major expenses, Pat?
No, not for us.
But I think the way we submitted it is a village-wide. So we might be able to put his onto it. I'll have to ask the grant writer to give me all that information, if anybody else is, if we have to do that. But every time I submit something to him, I give it to Lori so she has a copy of it. Because at some point in time, we're gonna have to gather all the bills up, vouchers and.
The grant writer, we pay him a percent of
Nope.
what we get.
$500. That's it. He's the same grant writer I use for all my FEMA grants and stuff.
That's what they're doing, the small businesses are doing with it. Your business do it? You didn't do it? It's the same way they're doing it, but the banks are.
And you gave me the radio proposal from United to replace 20. How many do we own?
There's 47 portables, and
This is just half.
our part of the whole grant is $162,000.
Have we heard yet?
It hasn't even started opening yet. It's been submitted, so whenever they start, it could be 8 months from when they start submitting them, or
So is this, you replace right away?
No, that's not radios.
What is this?
That is for.
Oh, thank you, sorry. I just saw United Uniform, or United, I thought it was United Radio.
No.
So this is, okay, so go ahead and explain this.
So I gave Mark a proposal for our vests. The only thing missing there is helmets. It's for active shooter training stuff, violent incidents, stuff like that. Our plan was to get them last year. I had it in my capital allotment with turnout gear. If you remember the sheet I submitted, I laid it all out. We didn't get to it because we ran out of time. So I'm not looking to get them tonight, but I'm just letting you know that's a follow in the ballpark of where we're going.
But we've seen an uptick too.
Oh, yeah, no,
Activity needing these.
oh, yeah. It's a necessity. Unfortunately, it's gonna be a recurring cost. So you just have to do it like we do a turnout gear and they have life expectancy, replace so many a year.
Any questions of the chief? Anything else, chief? Long day, so. It's there. Perfect. Thank you, chief. DPW, trustee Small. Do we have your project list in front of us?
So road work, got the.
We got a letter today from the CHIPS director from the state and basically saying call, but he doesn't have any answer to it. So we're kind of in limbo until we get directed on whether whether we're getting chips at all. So we're not doing anything until we figure out what's going on. I did, and I do have those, sent those to the county as part of that I&I rep, and I'm waiting to hear back.
Right.
We have a little bit left over from last year, but that money is also tied into what we get this year.
How much was it?
It's budgeted at 160.
No, I mean, how much was the worksite fee?
It's all of that. We were gonna repay 3 lower streets, and we will do those. I even thought about, even if we were to grind them out right now, and then when we get town involved, we might be able to do more than 3. If we were, because we pay the same, Pat, speak up if I'm saying something wrong. We spend X amount of dollars a day for that road grinder. So we can grind out as much as we can in 10, 12-hour day, and we pay the same price. So we've got 3 or 4 roads that we can ground out that need to repair on the roadside. We need to look, and then work with the town maybe and have town help us pay for it. The problem is that we have done, this is gonna be our 3rd repair in less than 12 years. The coal patch, it didn't last because the coal patch didn't. We should have, and then we cape sealed it, hoping that would last. And the cape seal has done well on the higher roads, but on the lower roads, the water sits in the road and it freezes. Pam Street is a perfect example. It needs to be addressed, but the problem is this is the 3rd repair that we made. In most roads, we make a repair and we're good, and for some reason, the repairs that we're making have not worked. So that's why Pat wants to take it right now, right out. And we've been doing 1 or 2 roads a year. If you remember last year, we did up in Huntley, we did a street, we did Pratt Lane, and then we did another street. The year before, we did Tremaine, and then we
Elm
so we're trying
Street.
to profile and redo at least 1 or 2 roads a year. Happens that this is the year that we're gonna be. Okay, Mike.
Curbside pickup, part,
The grade is where we're back because we're back at full step here.
South Springs sidewalk, the bridge, we just talked about. gateway project is well underway.
No, the only thing we've got to discuss is we have part of the Main Street grant program, even though the county hasn't signed the contract yet. We have some additional funds if the county doesn't sign the Main Street grant program to pay for we had 4 signs scheduled for the Main Street program. So we had about $16,000 scheduled for those signs. So the idea was to replace this one up here with a business district side, 2 signage, upper business district and then the historic district as they're going down, so they would see the historic. At the top of the bridge, as you go down, that'll be a 2-sided sign that would say historic district and limestone plaza. On Hydrant Street by Jake Holler's place, we never did that sign. So as you come in, that's just gonna say welcome to Village Fair. So we have 1 sign left. So Pat and I have been going back and forth trying to figure out. And as I was driving up the hill on Saturday, or Friday, I looked at the front where Waterside Commons is gonna go in that corner. Could that be a sign? Or do we need a sign somewhere else?
That's a big thing. Well, it's a big thing.
Want to do like we did at Pier Park and have it elevated? Or do we want to put one, the chief is requesting some type of sign on the corner, but he wants it more to look like the Veteran Park sign. So,
Mark,
yeah,
I forgot to mention, we talked about a sign down in Pratt Lane and Feeder Street.
yeah.
Originally?
Oh, that was it. That was the other one. I apologize, Pat. Yeah. So as you come into Canal Landing, that side of Canal Landing, as we call it, Casella Park. You know what I mean? We could use that. That could be a sign on Pratt. Yeah. So, because the land, some of the land that we donated from was Casellas. Yes, so those are 2 right now that if you guys have any other ideas, we still have, 1 sign to put up. So they're gonna get started. Gary has already worked all the last week. And we're working on getting those signs as far as Main Street.
Just make sure they're not like
When you're changing up direction. From your car, direction of the road.
That's part of the, that's part of it, yeah, we just have to wait for that. The only reason we're doing these is because we have funds, we have. And I think it's just a matter of how you decide. They drew the contract, we signed it, they just need to get their legal counsel.
Well, we don't have funds to sign without.
Right.
We can take it out of the book.
I understand that, but I also have funds in another area that we're not spending.
I was just
In many places. So, would you like a list of the 3 that I have right now on top of my head? Very good.
I was just curious about let's talk about that. I like
Thank you. So if you guys could look around and see if there's enough, maybe Pat and I have not figured out the right place. So maybe we're.
Well, maybe we get these.
But this is again a Main Street grant program, so we've got to think about how Main Street, everything that we're doing, Main Street. Highbridge is not what it comes into. It's on the county road. So,
let's keep it.
yeah. Well, we have Gary for certain. I don't want Gary.
I was thinking that I think that the stone ones should stay on the perimeter. And other types.
Okay.
Sorry to wait for a minute.
Yeah. I have it here.
Signal Hill Cole is building commercial July.
Yeah, we talked today, Ken reached out, we're still waiting for the DEC. The DC has, spoke with them today, and they reviewed the status of intent to restructure with base and the added items in the contracts. But they're asking for more conditions and more things. They're the ones that gave us the grant, so all these steps that they're making us do are costing more money for the grant that they gave us, so I have to reach out to Matt Marco and see if he can help intermediate this thing for us.
Parks, so this is what we talked about a little bit of this stuff earlier, but what do we want to do?
We have to wait for the governor's decision. same. Because there's guidelines for that, yeah. I will cost my governor.
And then they need to, you know, the regular routine stuff, merchant, mulch.
Yeah.
So they can go ahead with that.
Yes, we need, yes, that's a necessity, so anybody have a problem if we put the proper mulch, bed back down? There's special mulch for our playground equipment. We have to refresh it every year. So, same with the beer pump, the beer park fountains.
Right, return here, and those parts of the order.
I told him, he said it was gonna be, it was less than $500, correct?
Yeah, right now, yeah, we got away with it.
That's part of the creation. That's part of
Yeah, but even if it's
Gotta
got
get
that,
that
we need to-
Right,
Yeah,
we need
but-
to get those done.
Hey, let's get that on round table, so let's all take care of that.
Yes, yes.
Pat, did you get the, things you ordered?
No, we're still waiting on those, but we got a
Yeah.
couple of them to go. We'll probably be putting them in tomorrow.
I couldn't hear what he said.
He said everything's ordered.
Yeah, I know.
You said it should be in tomorrow?
Yes, we should be putting a couple of them in the pond tomorrow.
Okay.
How are the fish doing, Pat?
So far, they're still holding on, no problem. I talked to Jimmy Craw about that, and he said they're just basically, you leave them in there until they perish, and then you wait and do it again sometime.
How many are left?
You know how many are left, Pat?
Last count I had was 17 to 20 out of 30 some odd we put in there.
They're not taking them, are they?
Your kids.
No, some have perished, but some, no, I don't think any of them went. I'm not up there enough.
I think you're there all the time. The beats come back.
And then they're gonna be edging around.
Here?
Wherever.
Okay, good. And then you gotta do the.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, so let's just talk about this real quick. He wants to put in sandbox with the Washington Culver Park. So, but he also needs to repair. Did you say the sandbox in Boulder Park needs to be repaired or no?
That one's in good shape. It's Washington Park. Both of those need some replacement boards and then some new.
But you can repair those, and we're not talking about renovating that park right now, right?
The sandbox doesn't exist anymore.
Boulder Park?
Yeah, that got taken out a long time ago.
There's no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Pam. We removed it because the kids were putting sand in the fountain, drinking fountain.
They filled our fountain.
Okay, so we're gonna look at that because we're not gonna put sand back in there.
Yeah, that can be with Derek's master plan.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, when we look at that plan, we gotta remember those things existed at different times. And then, so that's fine. Then he said there's a back street that fell over in Boulder Park, and they're gonna remove that.
That portion that fell down?
Yeah.
And are they taking out the other one? They don't serve a purpose in their interior. That's why I'm asking.
So just take down both of those back steps?
You can't store them and without replacing them at this point. They're
Probably
very
not,
rotted.
yeah.
They're totally rotted.
So just take them down with a roofer down. Okay, that's and then the pest safety training, to be done in cooperation with the town managers. Town managers can do it this year. So we.
So we need a motion to go ahead and pay $400 for pest training for our DPW employees.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
I
Opposed? Pat, anything else that we need to talk about?
No, we should be good for now.
You don't want to use those?
We got your proposal today.
Using Trost.
We will go, Mike and I will go through it.
He is using.
He's using, you're using Lou Trost to do the training. He's just working through a different company than.
Yeah, Lou Trost is from Empire Safety and he does it through PERMA when they can hire him, but they can't now. So he opted to do this through his company and come down to DPW and do it for us.
Right, okay, yep, that's good, and we can take both of those back steps out of Boulder Park for now. And stay with the plan.
All right. The only other thing was I've got spots where we're gonna have to start asphalting some bad patches around the village. So if you want to have me get some asphalt, that's up to you guys.
Okay.
Tot patch.
I would go ahead and get that, Pat. We'll take that out of the, finance building.
Yeah, we
Streets.
normally have a budget for doing hot patching, small loads here and there around the village where it needs to be done.
I was trying to get the number.
They did a patch over on, Orchard Street. Across the.
It's right on the corner of.
Oh, yes.
Well, yeah, who did it? Oh, Orchard.
I didn't see who did it, but they did it Sunday.
They did it,
Or
it's not like
Saturday.
we did it, huh?
They
Good.
did it Saturday. 'Cause I wasn't here
Because it was
Sunday.
sinking?
All right, Pat, thank you.
Looked
Yep.
like pretty-
All right.
Dennis neighborhood, you should
Peter Street.
I have received an appraisal done on behalf of Mr. Welch. The value is $85,000. We can talk during executive session for the strategy and deal with it.
Wet sewer reserve, so we need a motion. We are in the final stages of signing the agreement with the Onondaga County wet, and we will be receiving a $200,000 check. So I want that money to go into the reserve as part of this process, and then our debt payment will be paid out of the reserve. So we need a motion to create a wet sewer reserve for the funds to go to in order to receive. Moved and seconded. Any questions?
Oh,
Yes, we are. Yeah. All in favor?
I,
Opposed?
What are we paying out of it?
The sewer, so we have about a $30,000 payment every year for the Signal Hill sewer that we did, right? That'll give us about 7 payments, and then any I&I funds that we receive for projects, let's just say something happens anywhere in the village, that money will go into that, and that will help pay it off. Once we're out of credits for I&I, we'll turn over once the debt is satisfied.
I know it's accounts that we have to look at that.
There's a little bit of interest, but not right now. The water fund interest, we haven't rolled it over in 4 or 5 years, and it's $16,000. We just leave it. So, it used to be, back in the day, that was a $30,000 line item every year. It isn't that way anymore.
We should use that.
It would be turned over to the general fund. The
Oh,
water.
yeah, it's a transfer.
We just haven't, it's a nice, just in case one.
We-
Kind of pay for the wall, we're gonna pay for the signs, that's a fourth account, and we pay for things.
Big
Thank
for
you,
what?
man. Thank you.
Big for what?
For the
Killing.
signs. So roundtable, Ted, anything?
Yeah, late Friday, I received the sewer lease agreement from the county attorney's office. Attached to it are 5 exhibits. So I shared it with Lori today, and she and I need to work on helping complete the exhibits that go to the lease agreement itself. And we might need a little bit of information from that. 1 or 2 of them too. I did contact the real estate agent for the Bundy property. She said she would have Miss Bundy's attorney contact me to start the process of rounding up the necessary things we need to do to close on that property, and I understand we need to get the county's.
I think we keep going,
I've drafted a local law to update the code with respect to the I&I requirements. Pass out a draft. When we initially adopted it, the offset was 1-to-1. Learned the county's changed 2-to-1. And I've drafted the provision such that if the county changes it again in the future, we won't need to do another local law every time. So that should be put on a future board agenda for adoption.
I'll put that on 22nd.
Public hearing in a second.
No, just, we can review it, then we'll set public.
And that's it.
Dennis?
yes, I've been, wanting to bring up a proposal, maybe the kind of the hard copy. Wondering if it could be more effective to encourage people to look on our website. It's save information and save on paper, save on other issues. the logistics of getting it out, but
I would love to say that would work. If we've been trying for 16 years to get email addresses and we have 75 email addresses for it, maybe. People don't want to give us their information. They don't trust us to have their email address. They don't trust
do
us.
we need to do it, do we need to email it? Can it just be on the website for them to go look up?
I completely disagree. with you. It's one of the most effective communication tools we have, and if you don't like handing out of that big cause.
Oh, no,
There's a lot of people,
There's a lot of love. I get more comments on it.
they don't have a computer, they won't read a website. How many people read their website?
Well,
Raise your
I
hand.
thought that it
I
would
put
be
mine down.
encouraging
I don't.
people to go to the website, but
Plus, the,
I know
plus, the,
there are people that
You do,
plus,
Huh?
the,
you're a different generation. A lot of people live around.
think.
plus the one thing that I've always encouraged that I like about it, I get a chance to stop and talk to somebody. They ask you a question, they see you there. It's another chance for them to talk to you, ask you a question, say something to you. I like this, I don't like this, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's really valuable, and it's 3 times a year. Yeah, so I don't think it's too much to ask, especially when there's times when I feel like,
It was a question I had in my head, I just wanted to know that it's easier than
Oh, yeah.
circumstances that no one.
it would be easy.
I wish that people would, read it.
Well, I think we would do it. I absolutely.
Oh,
do.
yeah, 50%.
If you're lucky.
That's why I
But that's
brought
how,
it
that's what
up.
we ask.
Yeah, no,
There's a give and take, there's a pro and
It's
con.
okay. But that's okay.
I get mine out at 6 in the morning.
You have cell phones,
Anything else, Ken?
No,
Yeah.
The lady screamed to woke everybody out in the neighborhood. I am not. Okay, fountains, that's taken care of.
Yes.
Okay, we took care of that. Assessment, people are so complaining. Paying the village taxes, I got 3 people. And they're all walking by, going on their walk every day. Dennis sees them, oh, man, it is like, there's all kinds of people walking.
Bringing people a lot of stuff.
I know,
I'm not
it's
coming
terrible.
here.
So they're nervous about not coming in here. They like to come in and have a personal meeting with the people here.
The village hall has been open.
So they can.
Yeah.
And
They were the understanding that they had to leave it.
no, the drop box is there for people that don't.
It's not
feel
even
safe.
there yet.
Not there yet, but
Okay,
it will be there for the people.
so
that
they
don't.
can come in.
Yes.
So rather than give it to me and have me bring them in, they like to meet with this, with a pleasant office staff. That's what they told me.
I would
We are
just like
open.
that.
They must get here on a good day.
And Mike knows a couple of them. Okay. I think that the website that I don't need. We should put something on encouraging the residents to wear masks. I think that would be very good. Is there something you could put on there, something like that, maybe we should have to write something up.
Yes, actually, we'll ask Karen.
Okay, well, I can. Okay, and, here's something. Is there a way we could suspend the open container for people over in the park? Because our picnic tables are open, there's a lot of places where picnic tables are not. Beard Park, they were waiting in line to use the picnic tables 2 weeks ago, not this right, the week before, waiting in line. And so when I walked through, a couple of them said, they were sort of trying to hide things. I mean, I wouldn't want to report anybody. They wanted to know if they.
I guess, Stan, I like the idea, and the county executive called a couple of days before he put that with the restaurants and the outdoor seating and the rate and the release of that. And asked me my opinion. I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was anything we could do to help the restaurants, and if you walk by yesterday or all weekend long, it's kind of nice to see those tables out front, people sitting there enjoying it, watching people go by. I would say that I'm not opposed to having that. I guess I would say if we have an incident, we have to shut it down. I just get nervous. I think it would be great to let people, if they want to have a drink in the bar, I think it's fine.
Well,
We've never had an incident, but we've never had that.
Well, yeah, we had an incident. We had one during Halloween when a guy got a beer and was walking on the street with a beer, and the cop stopped him and was going to give him a ticket.
Well, we haven't, no, we had an incident with the cops.
I mean, yeah.
Person.
So I
We
just.
allow, don't you allow for this?
We allow it during the jest and the symphony and
I'm not saying that.
Festival, we allow it during, the party, the
Right.
Limestone Plaza. So we do allow it at certain occasions in the year, but I think, I guess I would say that we're not condoning it, but we're not, enforcing it.
Okay, see, the reason.
And I think you should just ask the police if there's any issues.
The reason the picnic tables up there are used a lot because Green Lake's picnic tables are closed, all these other places have closed picnic tables, and that's what the people said, oh, we don't have any place else
Right,
to
I know
go.
Rob Manlis, Manoa has their sign out parks and stuff closed.
Yeah.
I don't know what Manlis is doing, like in Mill Run Park and things that they're open or closed.
I'm not sure. I did ask the Manoa mayor yesterday or today when I talked to him, because I read that sign too.
Right.
And he goes, the parks aren't closed, the playground is closed. And I said, well, you should.
Reads.
It reads, I said, I read it as you can't go there. And so he said, no, they would change that.
Right.
I think it's the same. I think all three of us are doing the same thing. Our
Yeah, no,
parks are
that's
open,
fine.
our
I just-
playground equipment is closed.
I didn't go to a park.
Because I asked two of the groups where they're from, they weren't from Fayetteville, but that's right.
That's, you just double check.
I will call him tomorrow.
Well, I talked to the chief.
Yeah, by the way, just so again, I forgot to tell you guys, he sent me, remember we asked for a report from, he sent me a report that's on the right. So it's just a traffic report, you guys want to hold. So I'll get it.
Be gentle when you come.
He's, dog on.
Someone's following.
It is, it's just, you know, that, they were in Syracuse last weekend.
They said they were going to do that one weekend.
No, they
Had
you
20
got calls.
officers. Yeah, 20 officers.
So,
20 officers. He had 20 officers.
we don't have 20 officers.
We have 35
It's just some
members of the police department.
Just some.
We're being told to speak up.
How many do we have? 35?
Yes.
I thought we had
No,
30.
no. Anything else, Dan? Mike?
No, but I have one thing. And that is, we were just talking about the website. And I would disagree with you, Pam, but I don't think people go there to read it, but in other organizations too. So I know what you're saying, and I've heard, had that discussion a lot or whatever. So hopefully someday that will be a way that we can communicate and
Sure,
cut down
be a
on some of that stuff. I mean, let's just
bump.
keep working towards it because someday we might be able to do that. But I did run into a resident that said that he had to register his complaint that our current website is much harder to navigate and get around in than our former website. So that's something I've ever heard from. About that, I don't go to our website and look for stuff because I find stuff here or do other things. But I will go and look at it or whatever. Maybe if we just look at it, I don't know. I didn't ask them more specifically.
Much more modern. It's easier.
See,
It's designed like most of the websites.
Again, that person was paying.
I like that.
So maybe that's the difference too, you know, it's not,
learning curve.
Yeah.
Here to shop.
I'm not,
Especially-
I'm just telling you what somebody said.
That's how I found out the internet was the way it was.
That's
That's
why
what
you're
it
late
says.
today.
You're good, Lord. Symporia at the present time is still on. We're trending towards phase 3 and we're in good shape. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to 4, which would allow something like that. So same with the jazz concert. I feel like this is the time not to cancel something and if we have to cancel it. The 21-day extension, as most of you have heard, was granted. And I have to say, I'm a critic of the governor once in a while, but we wrote the letter on a Tuesday and we heard on Thursday that we were granted that way. So everybody in the village has actually 21 days. So without a penalty. So I want to thank the governor and his team for that.
Us and Silver Beach. All the rest of the people.
The COVID-19 clinic that was held at IC Church, we tested 414 people. So that was a good turnout. And I appreciate the chief of police and the chief of fire for just keeping an eye on that, but that's a good number. They may come around again. IC's perfect because it's in and out. It didn't have an effect and we didn't have a lot of traffic. But they're trying to do east, west, or south, and then the city obviously is very important. Right, this week they're back, I think they're in Camillus, so it might be like every 4 weeks or something, they're gonna test all summer long, so they come back. And I wrote a note to Father Ryan, appreciate his willingness to do that. It's nice because it's got a big parking lot and it's easy to get in and out, no school, no traffic. So it worked very well, so I appreciate that. And then we have a solicitor's permit that came in late in the day. We haven't been able to look at it, but Tully's they created this new tender wagon, which for all people, I worked with them on this wagon, but they were looking for places that they could just test it out as they get it, and they make a donation to the senior center or the Little League or a choice of what you want. They're doing it in the village of Manlius. They wanted to do it on this Saturday down where the fish guy goes. Said I would check with the board if we have issues. They've done it in their parking lot in Fremont. They've done it here at Boulevard. They're just trying to get it tested out.
Have we had any competitions in the fish guy? Where's that?
Now, he's back farther than I thought he was.
There's,
I thought he would pull more.
Right on the road.
Yeah, that's
No,
where he's supposed to be, but
on
he's,
the road.
I thought he would pull more towards that entrance.
Yeah.
But he's way back towards the bridge, so when I had just had that chance. to
People are
stop.
parking on the bridge.
Yeah,
I was just wondering.
And I said, why not go to the other side and people could park on that side? Cross, look at it.
His line is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine by me. I just want.
I mean,
I just want to try it out for Saturdays.
I don't care, but again, we've just experienced a lot of shutdowns in our own restaurants.
I don't know, so some aren't doing anything and I'm just trying to give options for people. to
No,
have.
no, I, for the people that want to buy food, that's fine with being here, but for the restaurant, for the businesses here, I have a problem.
There's gonna be,
Valid point, but do we even have, can we consider that?
they're doing it all over the country.
Yes, you can. I mean, if they had their bid in time.
I agree.
They're all over the country having these vendors pull in, set up in the neighborhood. So you can have it, let's say your neighborhood, you can have them pull into your neighborhood, you give them permission. And they, you say, okay, you park in front of my house, you check with your neighbors, yeah, they love it, all over the country. I've got kids in 3 parts of the country, all have it, love it.
In our neighborhood, they called out 2 different trucks to come in, and it's really just, trucks require a certain number of commitments in order to come to your neighborhood. It's basically like an ice cream truck. I think that always could be the same thing, they could be as remote as the other ones that chosen to do it. I don't, unless we just set a trend for a lot of trucks to set up in that area, I don't know if that's.
Well, we've talked about doing, and part of this realignment is having, for the Florida and the plazas, is having food trucks down there. Or the Babel Festival, so we'd like to see how it goes. Like, I mean, again, I work with them,
I think
so,
it's great.
but I would like to see the opportunity to try it. I said, like, I see you to go pizza company over in Fremont on Fridays. And I'm like, God, I'd love to have, I think it would just offer something else.
I'm sure,
And I know it affects.
I'm sure Papa Giles is just soon as they find out.
Well, they're the ones
Well, his
that
truck,
come
his
to
truck
our
is cool.
They did.
Yeah, and I don't see anything wrong with us putting the word out to the places in our villages.
That's topic. I like it. Truck program.
I like it.
Okay, so we need a motion to go into executive session for advice of counsel. There'll be no action taken after that. We'll do the trustees, council, and the village clerk. Need a second? Second. All in favor?
I-
Opposed? Thank you.